All right, we are live. I'm Joe Tarosian, and live from the Ram Cave, this is RamView, the August 13th, 2022 edition. And it's really cool to be here. It's a Saturday, but it's not cool. It's 1,000 degrees, and it was 1,000 degrees yesterday when I decided, I'm going to do my podcast later in the evening, and then I didn't get to it. So I'm doing a rare Saturday broadcast, which I expect no one to see since there's 4 football games on. There's baseball, and so there's a lot of stuff happening. So I'm just getting this one in for the books, which is why I'm using my face again instead of the background icon that I usually use when I post. But just getting ready to talk some football. Saw some stuff the other night, wanted to get into it. And I did get asked a question. I don't get asked too many questions. I wish I was asked questions. I really do. But I don't get asked too many questions. But one of them is that how many important games have I been to for the Rams? And well, I was at the game I mentioned, the Times charity game, Colin Bryant's breakthrough when he tackled Les Strayhorn. Now, that might not be big in the scheme of things, but for me, it was my first game. I was at the playoff game between the Rams and Redskins. I saw Isaiah Robertson intercept that. Was it a Jurgensen pass at that point, or was it a Kilmer pass? I think it was a Jurgensen pass and took it 59 yards for a touchdown. I was at the Rams loss to the Cowboys in 75, or would that be January of 76? I think it was December of 75. The NFC title game, I was at that one, and that was a heartbreaker, the 37-7 affair. And I was at George Allen's last game in 78, the last preseason game. And basically, we went to the game, came home, woke up the next day, and George Allen was fired. In those days, we would sit in the closed in, and I remember our seats costing us $4 or $5. And I remember us going, man, look at those good seats down there and over there on the side. And they said, my brother says, yeah, those are $8 seats. And we were talking about how expensive it was and going, you know what, we got to save up some money so we can get $8 seats. And of course, we were riding the RTD to the bus in those days, 2 transfers and long walks and everything just to get to the game. But yeah, those are my memories. You didn't ask, only one person asked for them, but I shared them. So I wanted to talk on Friday, basic stuff. Someone said, what do I think of the NFL or the Field of Dreams game? I don't like the Field of Dreams game for MLB. I think it just gets rhapsodized and romanticized way too much. It's a good movie, good book. Of course, you like Vince Scully, but even this is going to sound really bad. I prefer James Earl Jones' narration to Vince Scully's for that piece, for the People Will Come speech. But yeah, I'm not real big on the Field of Dreams game. It feels forced. It feels real forced. So I didn't watch it because I was watching Giants Patriots. And so here's just a couple thoughts of some of the preseason games I saw. Again, just having fun right now because I feel like I just needed to get a show in because I didn't work yesterday and I should have worked. When I see a Penn State running back with a history of injuries, Kajani Carter, running the ball in preseason, it makes me cringe. And I'm just wondering why Saquon Barkley got any carries for the Giants. That one bothered me. It was good to see Malcolm Butler back with the Patriots. That was interesting. And James White retired. And James White, I tell you, one of the most underrated players, and maybe not. I don't live in New England, but in Patriot lore, he really is very, I don't know if he's appreciated as much as he should be. Maybe he is. I don't know. Kayvon Thibodeau got 14 sacks for the Giants. I'm not buying Kayvon Thibodeau. I just not. There's something about him. I think he lacks the motor. The Daniel Jones sucks crowd for the Giants immediately moved into midseason form. And like always, Tyrod Taylor, his backup, looked good in August, right? Tyrod Taylor always looks good in August. He looks good at the beginning of September, but never seems to make it to October or November. That guy is snake bit. But when you look at Tyrod Taylor's career, this is a competent NFL quarterback. He's a guy that I would like seeing as the backup for the Rams that needed to fill in for 3 games or so this year if there was an injury. But Tyrod Taylor out of West Virginia, he was undrafted, but he got a ring sitting on the bench for the Ravens. He was with them from 2011 through 2014, didn't play very much. was essentially a 3-year starter with the Bills from 2015, 2017, got a nice contract, bounced to the Browns, 2018, Chargers in 2019 and 2020, the infamous needle in the lung trick. I don't know how that gets settled without a lawsuit. And then, of course, he was with the Texans last year and the Giants this year. So actually, he wasn't undrafted. He was drafted in the 6th round, 180th overall out of Virginia Tech. But I do like Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor also defeats one narrative that, because there's always got to be a new narrative. While racism exists, I have no problem saying that. I also think we try to gin it up in other places that in the last 10, 15 years, trying to say that, well, if you're not a starting black quarterback in the NFL, then you're not going to be a black quarterback in the NFL. And Tyrod Taylor really blows that thing out of the water. This is his 6th stop, his 6th organization. Takes no mention of Josh Johnson right now, who we think he's in Denver. Makes no mention of who Jeff Blake was, Aaron Brooks. Again, KBM and largely white, KBM, Kiss Butt Media, will do whatever it can to sound relevant and sound like it's there on social issues. But I think Tyrod Taylor really defeats a lot of that. And watching Malik Willis play last night in Nashville or the other night in Nashville was pretty interesting. He is more pleasing to the eye than Ryan Tannehill, the plays he made. He just looks like a thicker, younger version of Russell Wilson. So we'll see. Happy for Malik Willis, the way his career started. Regarding the Ravens, I do like Tyler Huntley. Now, he was the undrafted free agent, and Baltimore has the perfect backup for Lamar Jackson. Keeping him in the fold was excellent. And the breaking news for the Ravens this year was they didn't lose a running back to a season-ending injury the other night. I thought that was interesting. Now, that was Thursday night. Friday night, the Falcons beat the Lions 27-23. Desmond Ridder threw 2 touchdown passes, and Marcus Mariota looked exactly like Marcus Mariota. I think he's a high-end backup. Des Ridder should have that job. Browns beat the Jaguars 24-13. Feeling good about the Jags. Deshaun Watson was 1 for 5. Should we get into that? And then the Jets beat the Eagles 24-21. Who cares? My question is, why is Zach Wilson playing? He had some knee issues last year. You're the Jets, okay? I know guys need reps, but you're the Jets. If there's only one way to screw something up, there's 10 ways of doing it and only one way of screwing up. The Jets always find the one way to screw it up. And Robert Saleh should have known that Zach Wilson should not have seen any part of the field during preseason. Just not. Now, it looks like it's a slight meniscus tear, bruised bone. Maybe, he's going to miss the first week of the season, maybe miss 4 weeks from here on out. So first week of the season, maybe 2 weeks. It's not season ending. But why is Zach Wilson playing? And I understand, he needs the reps. He's got new receivers, yada, yada, yada. You're the Jets. There's a curse on your franchise, right? Cardinals 36, Bengals 23. I get this text from the Pittsburgh Steelers fan in Missouri who doesn't like me referencing him as the Pittsburgh Steelers fan in Missouri, Rob Sorge. And he's telling me the Cardinals look great. The Cardinals look great. They're running Trace McSorley at quarterback. They're running a third-string quarterback. Who cares? 49ers beat the Packers 28-21. And, Jordan Love threw 3 picks. But I root for Jordan Love because everyone else has dismissed him so fast. And wouldn't it be great to see Jordan Love and Trey Lance have great seasons and then listen to the critics pivot, and say, oh, no, we knew this guy all along. Listen to them. KBM, man. The KBM always, the Kiss Butt Media always pivots. And they always come back and will tell you. They won't do the mea culpa, but what they'll do is they'll come back and say, I knew this guy had it in him, right? It's kind of like people are acting around Tutu Atwell right now. But we'll see. He hasn't done anything on the field. And I don't want Trey Lance to have too great of a year. There we go. I said it. Speaking of why I don't want him to have too great of a year is because the Rams and Chargers are tonight. And looking forward to watching that one. And, of course, everyone says, the starters aren't playing. Guys, you got to get beyond that. You're a Ram fan. Your team is deep. Your team is really, at the risk of sounding like a fanboy, your team is brilliant. Those backup players are all brought in for a reason. They're not just filling suits, with the exception probably of Luis Perez and Austin Trammell. Most of these guys, they're brought in for a purpose in terms of development. Now, imagine this. Imagine if Coleman Shelton literally becomes a top-notch right guard in the league, and the Rams signed him as a free agent 2-3 years ago, and they developed him, and he becomes something. there was a link that I didn't click on. I saw, what if Tyler Higbee goes down? Well, what if Tyler Higbee goes down? Look at the Rams have got. They got Kendall Blanton, who they've spent time and a couple of years developing for this moment. We've already seen what he can do in the playoffs before getting banged up. And then, of course, Bryson Hopkins, who looked like a bust, but in his late in his second season with the Rams, Bryson Hopkins made 4 big catches in the Super Bowl. So this is the reason why these preseason games matters, because you're getting to see who the Rams are developing. This is not the 2009 through 2006 Rams. It's not the Steve Spagnuolo Rams. It's not the Sam Bradford Rams. It's not the Jeff Fisher Rams. It's very deliberate and purposeful. Enjoy this moment, enjoy it, and watch these games. But watch them on TV. I wouldn't pay the prices to go to SoFi for a preseason game. Speaking of that, the Rams, Brandon Powell is banged up, and he hurt his knee a couple days ago in camp, and so that's late news. That's not big news. But other than that, Jacob Harris, the elbow with Matthew Stafford that seemed like it was dying down. And then Mike Martz, who hasn't coached the team in about 16 years, Mike Martz says he'd be scared to death about Matthew Stafford's elbow. As Mike Martz found new information that somebody else hasn't. Of course, it's a concern, but the Rams are managing it, and he is still throwing the ball. And so everyone got all worked up again about that just because Mike Martz, who hasn't coached the Rams for 16 years, said something. So the Rams know what they got. It's going to be really interesting to see Robert Rochelle, Darian Kendrick, and Jacoby Bryant play out at corner. It's going to be interesting to see Terrell Burgess, Russ Yeast, them at safety. It's going to be interesting to see Daniel Hardy, maybe Terrell Lewis, and some of these guys play at the edge. It's going to be interesting to see Christian Roseboom, Jake Gervais, Jake Hummel playing at linebacker. The only question I haven't had answered is, can somebody tell me what happened to Bobby Evans? Was he already released? Did he walk away? And just let me know what happened, because I'm not seeing him on any depth chart. All right. As we hit where are we at now? Hey, we're at the 12-minute mark. Cool. Hey, I wanted to wish happy birthday to former Ram wide receiver Brandon Gibson. Now, Gibson played with the Rams during a very dark period. They acquired him from the Eagles, and he played with the Rams from 2009 to 2012. He started 38 games. He played in 54, and he caught 174 passes twice. He caught over 50 passes in a season for some really lousy Ram teams, and he scored 9 touchdowns. He was 6th round, 194th overall selection by the Eagles in 2009 and out of Washington State. And so Brandon Gibson, who turns 35 today, did a really nice job for the Rams in a dark period and is completely forgotten. And, of course, he wore number 11, which was became Tavon Austin's number, and a number that a lot of people like to forget. But he did a nice job. And, of course, after the 2012 season, the Rams went another direction. He went to Miami for 2 years. And after 2014, he did a couple of practice squad years, I think, with the Eagles, maybe somebody else. And his career was over. He caught his last pass in the NFL when he was 27 years of age. 27. Think about that. All the work you do, everything you do, and then you're done at 27. I think about me and my ministry and my career, the things I was doing. I started basically when I was 27, 26. That's when the ball got rolling for me. And they were winding up at 27. And again, just another reminder how cruel football can be. Excellent. So cool. I did a Saturday show. Doesn't mean anything. I know I do not expect anyone to watch it, compliment, but if you do, great. Hit the subscribe button so you get notified and make me look good. Leave a comment. Thank you so much, Paul Athens. Thank you so much for your encouragement. Thank you, Dave Mitchell. Thank you, everybody, for who clicks on and sends me those little words of encouragement. And we'll be back Monday with an emotional, complaining rant about tonight's game, and then we'll get a little more practical on Tuesday. All right, guys, I'm Joe Terosian, and we will catch you on Monday. Take care.